This is strength building flow. So if you're practicing early this morning, let's take some time to warm up all the major muscles and the joints and connect to our breath. Maybe bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart center and maybe just do a short meditation on what strength means to you. What does this look like? Not necessarily in the physical body, but something in the subtle energetic body that you'd like to connect to today, something that you'd like to build. Yes, we build strength in the subtle energetic body through strength in the physical body, but the two are not separate concepts. Let's bring them together with a short meditation on what strength means to us as an individual. And as you do this, start to lengthen your inhales and exhales. Maybe after a short repetition in your mind's eye of what strength means to you, you can move on to what strength means in community or family, your immediate community or the wider community in the world. What does this look like? Keep lengthening those inhales and exhales. Maybe bow your head over your hands in a gesture of offering strength to not only yourself today in this practice for an hour or so, but also out into the world. Sharing this energy with others, cultivating it within ourselves so that we may project it outwards, filling ourselves up so that we have something for others to draw from. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your hands to the ground in front of you, placing the palms flat on the ground. Let this gesture move through the earth, through the ground, into your mat, into the earth, and out into the world. As you inhale and exhale, lift your hands, bring them to your thighs or your knees, palms facing down. And just find a comfortable seat where you're sitting nice and tall, crown of the head moving towards the sky, towards the ceiling. And then bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. And just start to breathe into the entire thoracic and abdominal cavity at the same time. Maybe you choose to count to 4 or 5 or 6. As you inhale deeply, maybe you inflate the abdomen completely first, and then you fill up the chest a little bit more. See where your breathing takes you this morning without judgment, without expectation. It's just bringing your awareness to this area that houses and cases the lungs. How much space do we have to move today? As we start to increase the inhales and exhales, you start to feel stretching in between the ribs, stretching the muscles across the back and the front and the sides of the body, abdomen and chest, lower back, middle back, and upper back. And even though we're inhaling into the top of the chest, the shoulders don't move towards the ears. We keep them away from the ears as we draw the shoulder blades down the body. Sweating a little, so I'm wiping it away. Deep with your breathing. Now connect to the sensation or this imagination or this visualization. Strong inhales and strong exhales. Building heat in the body as we breathe in and out through the nose only. As we start to increase the body's capacity to intake fresh prana, new life force energy. And as we exhale, press out all of that stagnant air, that stagnant energy. Breathe in strength, breathe out weakness. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hands to your knees again and return to normal breathing. And perhaps at any point during the warm-up or during our sun salutations or our flows, you choose to activate and initiate your Ujjayi breath, contracting the back of the throat, heating up the breath even more as you inhale and exhale. We're going to inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, bring them through heart center. Inhale, last time, syncing the movement with the breath. Exhale, bringing the hands through heart center. Inhale, bring the hands overhead. Exhale, left hand outside of left hip. Reach the right hand over. Get a little stretch in the side body. Inhale, lengthen through the fingertips. Exhale, drop the right shoulder. Reach the right hand forward. Swing the body over the legs. Plant the right hand on the outside of the right hip and open up the chest. Bring that left hand over the head. Inhale, reaches through those left fingertips. Exhale, let's come forward and through. Create a few circles here, stretching out the back and the side body. Inhale, right hand overhead. Reach through those right fingertips. Exhale, bring it through the center. Right hand on the outside of right hip. Left hand scoops over. Anchor through that left hip. Reach through the right fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, last time. Reach forward and through. Round the back a lot. Lift the right hand. Follow the left hand. Open up the chest. Inhale and reach through the right fingertips. Exhale, stay. Inhale, bring the fingertips over the head. Exhale, hands through heart center. Bring the hands onto your knees, palms facing down. Roll the shoulders a few times, rotating the shoulders forward, up and back, and then down. Inhale brings them up, exhale brings them down. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's do a few reverse rotations. Inhale back, up, and forward. Either way, your inhale brings the shoulders to the ears, your exhale brings them away from the ears. Few more rotations, syncing this with the breath. Last 2 rounds. Inhale deeply, exhale completely, pause in the center. Inhale and exhale. We're going to do a few neck rolls here, and you decide what feels good for you. We're only going to do half moons. We're not going to do full neck rotations. So we'll inhale at the center, and when we exhale, we bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. Very important to bring the left ear towards the left shoulder and not the left shoulder towards the left ear. Keep drawing that left shoulder down. Inhale, lengthen the right side of the neck. Exhale, we're going to nod the head through the center, bringing the chin towards the chest. Inhale, open up to the right, bringing the right ear to the right shoulder, drawing the right shoulder down, strengthening, lengthening the left side of the neck. Inhale here, exhale. Let's do a few more rotations, bringing the chin towards the chest and then rolling the left ear to the left shoulder, right side of the neck stretch. Inhale. Exhale through the center, right ear to left shoulder. Right ear to right shoulder, left side of the neck stretches. Inhale here, exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, open up. Left ear, left shoulder, last time. Exhale through the center, right ear, right shoulder, left side of the neck stretch. Inhale brings you through center. Exhale here, and then inhale. We're going to lift up the chin towards the sky without collapsing into the back of the neck. So think about lifting up the sternum, lifting up the chest, and creating support for the neck, using and activating the muscles. But by doing so, also lengthening the throat. Bring your awareness more here to the throat, and lengthening here in the front, more than collapsing into the back. Deep breath here, inhale, and then exhale, bring the chin towards the chest. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up the chin towards the sky, stretch open over the throat. Exhale, inhale, and then exhale, come down, chin towards the chest. Last one. We're going to stay with our chin towards the sky for the inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift up, chin to sky. Stay for the exhale, inhale, and then exhale, bring the chin towards the chest. Stay for the inhale and exhale here. Think about drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears again. Tuck the chin just a little bit more. Lengthen the back of the neck and think about not collapsing into the spine. So you're still sitting up pretty stacked and straight in the lower and middle back. The curving is happening at the cervical spine. Very minimally at the rib cage, or too little and nothing at the middle and lower back. Breathe deeply here, and then inhale, raise the head so that the chin is parallel to the ground. Inhale, arms rise overhead one more time. Exhale, bring the left hand to the right knee, twist and gaze over the right shoulder. Stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Inhale, use the hands and the upper body as your guide. Come through center. Exhale, right hand on the outside of left knee, left hand behind the left hip. Twist and gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, lift up to the sky. Exhale, opposite side. Let's twist a little bit deeper. Stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Think about twisting at the middle body, around or above the navel or the diaphragm. Small sips of breath in. Twist as much as you can, letting this be your warm-up. Inhale, arms rise through center. Exhale, over to the opposite side. This time, right knee on the outside of the left, right hand on the outside of the left knee, left hand behind left hip. Gaze over the left shoulder. Small sips of breath, twisting at the middle back, middle body, diaphragm, and above the navel. Inhale through center. Let's do that one more time to keep our movement in threes. Left hand outside of right knee, twist. Last time, over to the opposite side. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, twist over to the opposite side. Inhale brings you through center, arms rise. Exhale, fuse left and right hemispheres by bringing the hands through heart center and pausing here. This was your little warm-up. We're going to remove our bolsters from underneath our sits bone so we can straighten out our legs, remove our bolsters, give our legs a little bit of shake if keeping our legs cross-legged was a little bit uncomfortable for us. And then we can swing our legs over and come onto our knees. Now, if you've got issues with any of the ligaments in either of the knees, you can either do these exercises on your little bolster or your cushion, or you could fold your mat over a few times. We're just going to come into some cat-cow positions. If this is very uncomfortable for you, you can do these spinal movements in downward facing dog. If not, you can bring your knees underneath your hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders and find a neutral tabletop. From here, exhale. And then inhale, drop the belly, lift up the hips, and then lastly, at the top of your inhale, lift up your chest and your chin towards the sky. Toes can be curled under or the tops of your feet flat on the ground. Lift up the chest towards the sky, sip in a little bit more air. And then when you exhale, try to lead with the lower back. So lead with the pelvis first, tucking that, then the middle, then the upper back, and then tucking the chin towards the chest for cat-cow. Keep cycling through these in a few rounds of breath. I'm going to remove my bolster. Remember that your inhale still leads with your pelvis, lifting up or creating that anterior pelvic tilt, dropping your navel down towards the ground, arching the back, and then pressing out of the palms of the hands, lifting out of the shoulders and lifting up the chest for cow. Exhale, curve and carve, guiding with the pelvis first. Tuck the chin towards the chest, squeeze, and then find your cock. Finish your exhale. Inhale, find some fluid movements here now, not trying to think about it too much. Inhale is cow, exhale is cat. Let's move in 2 more rounds together. Inhale, lift off the chest. Exhale, curve and cock. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Perhaps you're activating Mula Bandha, squeezing between the legs. into the inner thighs. Last one, inhale, lift up for cow. Exhale, squeeze, for cow. Exhale, squeeze for cat. Start to think about that core engagement. Inhale and exhale, find a neutral spine. If it's comfortable for you with your knees, sit back into your child's pose for a second. So I'd like us to repeat our cat-cow and really think about engaging our core before we move into our standing sequence. On your next inhale, roll through into tabletop. Find a neutral spine. Exhale here. Inhale, lift up the chest and think about bringing your awareness to this area around your navel. So you're not just completely letting it go, but that the movement starts to become controlled. So that when we move through the rest of our sequence, we're moving from our core and not just letting it go. Keeping our lower back supported, building strength in both the abdomen, in front of the body, and also in the lower back muscles. When you exhale through your next cat, think about drawing your navel closer towards the spine. Think about drawing the energy up into the pelvis from the knees, squeezing between the thighs. Last round, inhale, lift up for cow. Exhale, squeeze, curve and carve. Find your cat, tap the chin, stretch across the shoulder blades. Inhale, find a neutral spine. This time, definitely curl the toes under. Lift up the knees and send the hips to the sky for your first downward facing dog. Walk your dog out a few times. Find the distance that is comfortable for you. Generally, if we're coming from our tabletop position, we don't need to move the hands and we don't need to move the feet. Actually, if you do need to move, only move the feet. Keep the hands planted, spread the fingertips, and press all four corners of the palms into the mat. Then bring your awareness to your feet. Equal distribution of weight between the hands and the feet, drawing the heels down towards the ground. Breathe here in your downward facing dog. Do you need to keep your knees bent if the hamstrings are tight? Do you need to cycle it out a little bit, bending one knee and straightening the other before finding a static downward facing dog? Taking a few rounds of that deep breath, reconnecting to that ujjayi or those longer inhales and exhales. If you feel you've gotten away from it a little bit, bring yourself back. Inhale and exhale. No stress, no strain. Just gently feeling the heat build gradually. Inhale and exhale, look between the hands. Step your feet towards the top of the mat, bringing your feet towards your hands, and then finish your exhale in your forward fold. Here in our first forward fold, we can bend the knees a lot, grab the opposite elbows, and just hang here for a second or two in ragdoll. Shifting the weight front and back. Feet are definitely hip-width distance apart or wider. Knees definitely bent. This is our first forward fold and our hamstrings are tight. Immediately connecting with that long, deep breath. Shift the weight into the toes, into the heels. Rock from side to side, shifting the weight into the left and the right foot a few times, relaxing the neck completely. Inhale and exhale. Find stillness in your center point. Hang in your ragdoll. Maybe straighten one leg, bend one knee. Inhale and exhale, straighten the other, bend the other. Always being conscious to keep a micro bend in the knee, especially if there's been any kind of knee strain in the past, whether that's issues with your meniscus or your ACL or your PCL or any of the lateral or medial ligaments. Activate the upper muscles of the leg by keeping this micro bend in the knees, building strength here to recover from any kind of injuries in the joints. Inhale and exhale, release the grips of your ragdoll. Inhale brings you to halfway lift, lengthen the spine. If you need to use your blocks, place your hands on your blocks or come to your shins or to your thighs, depending on the flexibility of your hamstrings, how your back's feeling, how warm you are. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're going to come all the way up to the top of the mat. Bring the hands overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. And we'll just pause at the top of our mats. I'm going to come from this direction. I bring my toes to touching my heels slightly apart. If this is uncomfortable for you, separate the feet hip width distance or wider. It can be more stable to move from this position. Inhale and exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, arms rise, reach up and out of the pelvis, gentle back bend. Exhale, bring the hands through center. Find yourself in your forward fold with control, thinking about the spine and thinking about this gentle engagement of your navel towards the spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, and let's get ready to move through a sun salutation variation, stepping both feet to the back of the mat, finding a plank for a second. Exhale, bring the knees down towards the ground. Squeeze the elbows in, and with a flat back and core engaged, drop yourself down onto the belly. Inhale, keep the hands where they are on either side of the ribs. Lift up the chest, engage the back muscles, engage the glutes, activate the legs, and find cobra. This is your inhale. Exhale brings you down. Inhale, reach the hands back to the side of the body and lift up the chest. Exhale, come down, working through a half Shalabhasana. On our next inhale, we're going to engage the glutes and engage the leg muscles. Lift up the legs, kick back, and then lift up the chest. Inhale, full locust pose. Inhale and exhale. Plant the hands next to the ribs again. Come through the knees, tuck the toes under, find your half plank. And then inhale and exhale, find downward facing dog. Feet are definitely hip-width distance apart, or even a little bit wider. Remember to bring the toes in a little and the heels out, feet parallel to each other. Lateral lines or outside lines of the feet parallel with the long side of the mat. Be sure to have 2 straight lines of your triangle created in downward facing dog. Try not to round too much in the upper back. Draw the chest towards the top of the thighs. Inhale and exhale here for 1. Activate the quadriceps and lift up the knees. 2. Micro bend in the knees, press the heels down towards the ground. 3. Engage Mula Bandha, squeezing into the area of the groin and the pelvis. 4. 5, become aware of the weight in the hands and the feet. Shift some more weight into the feet if need be. Shift some more weight into the hands if need be. Inhale, look between the hands, bend the knees, and step the feet to the top of the mat. Finish your exhale in your forward fold, keeping the feet separate. Inhale, halfway lift, find your blocks or your shins or your thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise overhead, micro bend in the knees, protect the lower back, engage the core, lift the hands overhead, baby back bend, that's your inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center, and release hands at your side. Stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Inhale and exhale, bring the hands to heart center, gently tucking the pelvis, engaging your navel towards your spine, becoming aware of your core. Let this support you through the flow. Inhale, arms rise, lift up and out of the pelvis. No crunching or collapsing into the lower back. Core engaged. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, whatever variation you're choosing this morning, evening, afternoon. Exhale, let's step through plank. Stay in your plank. Inhale, be nice and long. Exhale, bring just the knees down. Keep the back straight, core engaged. And finish your exhale, bringing your chest down towards the ground. Squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, squeeze the elbows together. Draw the shoulder blades together. Notice how this starts to create your back bend. Then engage the glutes, engage the legs, engage the back muscles, nice and strong. Cobra. Exhale, fold forward, relax. Inhale, reach the fingertips back. Just lift up the chest. Use the hands as a guide. Fly like Superman. Press the tops of the toes into the mat, working into those lower back muscles, middle back muscles. Exhale down. Inhale, same thing, just inviting the legs to cooperate. Lift up the legs. Inhale, lift up the chest. Reach the fingertips towards the toes. Fly, stay, engage the core. Bring your awareness to the navel. Exhale down. Bring the hands on either side of you. Come up onto the knees, flat back. Find your half plank and then find downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in your downward facing dog. Become aware of any changes in the heart rate. Notice any sensations in the back, in the belly, in the abdomen. Nice long inhales and exhales. Now, think about all the cues I've already given you for downward facing dog, and then add this one, lengthening both the left and right sides of the ribs. Send the hips more towards the sky. Inhale, look between the hands, bend the knees, step your feet to the top of the mat again. Finish your exhale in your forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, fingertips graze the mat or touch your blocks or your shins or your thighs. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, maybe micro bend in the knees, core engaged, lift up, baby back bend, salute. Hasta Uttanasana. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center, Pranamasana. Inhale and exhale, Tadasana, Evolution. Find your mountain pose. Stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Perhaps in your standing posture, you reconnect with the pelvis. Lengthening the lower back very gently, not in a massive exaggeration of a movement, but more in a way that connects you to your core and create stability around your mid area. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Lift up the chest, neck long, but chin parallel to the ground. Deep inhales and exhales here. Let's move through one more round. Inhale and exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, arms rise overhead, palms together or hands separate. Exhale, bring the hands forward and down. Find yourself in Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back. Find your plank. Pause in your plank. Inhale, become nice and long. Exhale, knees down. Squeeze the elbows in, flat back, chest all the way down. Core engagement. Immediately inhale, find your cobra, Bhujangasana. Activate the glutes. Exhale, come down, move nice and slow. Make every movement intentional. Reach the fingertips back. Inhale, lift up just the chest. Press the tops of the toes into the mat. Exhale, inhale, invite the legs this time. Lift up the legs, lift up the chest. Shalavasana, fly. Stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Exhale brings you down, hands on either side of the ribs. Lift up, find your half plank. Curl the toes under, hips towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Inhale, look between the hands, bend the knees, step the feet to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine, finish your exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine one more time. Are you bending the knees? Are you bringing the abdomen flat onto the thighs if the hamstrings are tight? Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Arms rise overhead, palms together or separate. Lift up, baby back bend. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center. Inhale, hands at your side. Keeping the feet hip width distance or slightly wider apart. Let's inhale and exhale. Sit back with our sits bones. Move our sits bones away from our knees so that we're already setting ourselves for a good posture in Uttanasana, chair pose. Sit down, draw the sits bones down, and make sure that the knees are not moving over the big toes, but that they're drawing back. Again, that gentle engagement of the core by tucking the lower back. Arms rise overhead, Uttanasana, chair pose. This is your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, find your plank. Let's move through our sun salutation variation. Knees and chest down to the ground. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Feet can be wider than the hips. They do not have to touch. Inhale, half locust. Exhale down. Inhale, find full locust. Lift up the legs, fly. Inhale and exhale, find yourself through your plank to downward facing dog. Checking in with your hamstrings now at this point. Find your stable and steady downward facing dog. Keep the feet hip-width distance apart and make sure that you're equally shifting the weight between the hands and the feet. Pause here, tuck the chin towards the chest, gaze between the legs. Then inhale and exhale, step the feet together. We're going to move into three-legged dog, and sometimes it's a little bit more challenging to do this with our feet hip-width distance apart. So we'll start with feet together and then move from here. Shift the weight into the left foot. Raise the right foot up towards the sky. But instead of opening and stacking up the hip, I want you to drop that right hip. Power through the right heel. And stay for 3 rounds of breath here, leveling out the hips, engaging the core. Feeling the entire sole of the left foot flat on the ground. Micro bend in the left knee. Inhale, reach that right heel, flex the toes towards the knees, activate that right leg. And then exhale, squeeze the right knee to nose. Round a lot into the body. Shift the weight over into a half plank. Finish your exhale here, and then slowly inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, squeeze that right knee into the right elbow. Round again. Bring the sole or the heel of the right foot towards the buttocks. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, we're going to cross it over the body if the knee is able to facilitate this rounding movement. Otherwise, we just bring knee to nose. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, this time we're going to step the right foot through to find high lunge. And let's sit up here in our high lunge now. We can step that left foot out towards the side so that we come off that center hinge that we've been moving through in our three-legged dog. Find your high lunge here, bending at 90 degrees in the right leg, drawing the right hip back and the left hip forward. Stable here first. Inhale, lengthen the spine, come up onto the fingertips. Stay for the exhale. Inhale and exhale, bring the hands to the right knee. Stable here as we move into crescent lunge. Arms rise overhead, bend into that right knee a lot. Power through that left heel. Lift up the chest. Stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Inhale, reach for the fingertips. Exhale, sit a little bit deeper. We'll hold this pose for 3 more breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Inhale and exhale, lean forward, keeping the chest just hovering over that right knee or that right thigh. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, let's open up that left foot parallel to the short side of the mat. Bend into the right knee and find warrior 2. Right foot is dissecting the arch of the left foot. Bend into your right knee, power through that lateral arch of the left foot. Inhale, come into extended side angle, bringing the right forearm onto your right leg, keeping that 90-degree bend into the right knee. If it's too intense, you can heel toe that foot closer, the back foot closer. Scoop that left hand over and find supported extended side angle. We'll hold this for 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale for 1. Inhale and exhale for 2. Inhale and exhale for 3. And then inhale, come up, straighten that right leg, scoot back for a little pause. Find reverse triangle. Windmill the hands over and down into the front of the mat. Plant the palms on either side of the right leg as you find your high lunge. Lift up that right foot, shift the weight into the left leg and kick back. Find three-legged dog one last time. This is your inhale. Exhale, find downward facing dog. At any point, you're welcome to come into a child's pose. Otherwise, stay in your downward facing dog, bringing the feet wider than hip width distance apart. And we'll move into the same sequence, but on the opposite leg. Bring the toes to touch at the back of the mat in your downward facing dog. Shift the weight into the right foot. This time the left leg moves towards the sky. And instead of opening up that left hip, we stack. And try to increase or isolate the stretch into the right hamstring. You can keep that micro bend in both knees. Power through that left heel. Activate the left upper thigh and the left glute. Exhale, squeeze the knee in towards the chest. Coming into a half plank. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog, kick it back, active foot. Flexing toes towards the knee. Exhale, if the knee accesses this. Left knee, right elbow. Inhale, kick. Three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through. Find your high lunge. Pausing your high lunge. Make sure that you're stable here. You can step out that right foot from the center line so that your feet are not so close together on the same line. There's better balance here if you step that right foot out to the side. Set up in your high lunge, feel into this movement, 90-degree angle at the left knee, fingertips on either side of the leg. Nice and strong through that back leg. If it's very intense for the right knee, then we just micro bend that back leg. Inhale, come up, find your high lunge, crescent lunge. Stay for the inhale, stay for the exhale. Bend into that left knee, sit a little bit deeper. Inhale, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, sit. Three more rounds of breath here. 1, 2, 3. And then inhale, exhale, lean forward, stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Light on those right toes, draw that left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale and exhale, and then open up, find your warrior 2. I'm just going to change my direction so that I'm facing the camera. Find your warrior 2, bend into that left knee. Strong into both feet. Burning left quadricep, straighten the leg and then bend the knee again. We've all been there. It's okay. Stay connected to the breath. Inhale, bring the left forearm onto the top of the left thigh. Scoop that right hand over the head and let's stay for 5 rounds of breath. Bend into that left knee. Lengthen, straighten through the right fingertips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, scoop the hands up, straighten that left leg, come back, find your reverse trikonasana, your reverse triangle. Inhale and exhale, windmill the hands down. Feel that flow as you let go of the strength and just move through where you know you're going, just with your breath. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, feet apart, hip-width distance at the back of your mat. Find your downward facing dog. Otherwise, let's take a few rounds of breath in child's pose. Bring the toes to touch. Knees can be nice and wide or close together. Whenever we're doing a pose, I like for us to think about why. So we're doing all of the standing sequence to build strength and to draw that energy up from the ground, working into our root and also our sacral chakras, into our Manipura chakra. This is where that energy movement starts. But when we come into child's pose, if we've got our knees nice and wide, it gives us more space to drop between the thighs. And this can increase our stretch in our groin, can also increase the stretch over the knee. If we bring our knees together and we rest the body over the thighs, we're rounding more and creating more of a stretch into the spine. So it all depends what shape you take, depending on what you want, depending on how you feel. Of course, if there's any strain in the knees, bring your block or your bolster behind you or in between the thighs. Place them behind the knees. Do not overstretch. Do not feel injury pain when you're trying to work on creating recovery. The standing sequences will build strength around the muscles of the knee. To make sure that we're moving into strength building and flexibility, but in a systematic way. That's enough rest in our child's pose. Let's inhale and exhale. Come through tabletop. Curl the toes under. Find downward facing dog with the feet hip distance apart. Stay for the breath in. Stay for the breath out. Inhale, look between the hands. Step the feet together at the top of the mat. Forward fold. Let it go. Please excuse me while I wipe on my sweat away. Definitely heat building and strength building flow. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, sit. Find your Utkatasana. Arms rise overhead. Sit a little bit deeper. Exhale, inhale, lift up the chest, fingertips towards the sky. Think about awareness around the core. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, hands through heart center. What a sequence. Stay in your mountain pose in your Tadasana for a few breaths. Do a few movements that feel good, maybe rubbing out the lower back, maybe shaking out the hands a little bit, shaking out the legs. Let's move through our sequence again. Inhale and exhale, sit into your chair. Find your Utkatasana, gentle lengthening of the spine, core engagement. Inhale, lift up the chest. Exhale, sit a little bit deeper in your chair. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Hands in front of the toes, reaching for your block, grazing the mat or touching your shins or your thighs, lengthen the spine. Inhales, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, find your plank. Lower the knees, squeeze the elbows in, you know where we're going. Find your Bhujangasana, your cobra, squeezing the elbows in, active back, active glutes. Exhale, come down. Inhale, straighten the arms, fly, bring your fingertips back, palms facing up or down. Exhale. Inhale, lift up the legs, lift up the chest, fly. Full Shalabhasana, locust pose. Inhale and exhale, find yourself through your half plank. Curl the toes under, lift up the hips towards the sky, find downward facing dog. Step the feet together, back of the mat. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, right knee to the chest, to the nose. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, kick it. Three-legged dog, right leg rises. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, step it through. Find your high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, sits a little bit deeper. Inhale, reach the fingertips forward. This time, bring your hands to heart center. Lean over that right leg a lot. Hop those left toes in a little bit. Shift the weight so much into your right leg that your left leg lifts and your knee comes in towards the center. Find a little half squat on your right leg. Inhale, can you lift and lengthen up into three-legged dog, to warrior three, lengthening the spine. Inhale and exhale with control, nice and gracefully. Drop those left toes down onto the ground. Keep your balance if possible. Inhale, arms rise. Ooh. High lunge, crescent lunge. Inhale and exhale, warrior two. Inhale, scoop it back, find your reverse warrior. Exhale, find your extended side angle. I'm going to change sides, so I'm facing the camera. From your extended side angle, find your strength here, equal weight in the front and back foot. Inhale, reach the fingertips of the right hand. Underneath the left hand, find your unsupported extended side angle. Inhale and exhale here. Straighten that front leg, find your reverse triangle. Inhale and exhale, windmill the hands over. Plant the palms, find your low lunge. Lift up that right leg, kick it back, three-legged dog. Inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. If you need to take a pause in your child's pose, you can do that. Otherwise, stay in downward facing dog, reconnecting with the breath, taking control of the breath, bringing the heart rate down. Bring the feet together, back of the mat. This time, shifting the weight into the right foot, left leg rises, find your three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to nose. Inhale, kick that left leg back. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, kick it back, three-legged dog. Exhale, last one, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through. Let's set up for our high lunge. From low lunge first, stable here, hopping that right foot out so that we're hip width distance. Inhale, arms rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, sit nice and deep. Inhale, reach forward. Lean over your leg for leaning crescent lunge. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Hop that right foot in just a little bit. Stable here. Bending into the left knee. Lift up the chest a little bit. Engage the core. And shift the weight so much that the right knee comes to meet the left knee. Bend the left knee a lot. And then can you find warrior three, kicking out that right leg, flexing the right toes towards the knee, dropping the right hip. Lift up the chest just a little bit. And with control, drop that right foot down. Inhale, arms rise. Try to keep that balance. Find high crescent. Exhale, open up. Find your warrior two. Again, I'm turning around, so I'm facing the camera. Warrior two over the left leg. Stay for the breath in, stay for the breath out. Inhale, find your reverse warrior. Scoop that left hand over the head. Inhale and exhale, supported side angle. Left forearm on the top of the left thigh. Reach those right fingertips over the head. If the stance is too wide, heel toe that right foot closer to the left foot. Reach to the right fingertips. Inhale and exhale, find a few breaths in your unsupported extended side angle. 2 more breaths. Bend into that left knee. And then inhale, let it go. Straighten that left leg. Scoop the hands over. Find your reverse Trikonasana. Windmill the hands. Flow through it. Find your low high lunge. Plant the hands on either side of the leg. Kick back. Find three-legged dog. Left leg in the sky. Inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale, child's pose. Take the child's pose variation that's comfortable for you. If the knees are very uncomfortable, you can come over into Makrasana. Otherwise, stay in your child's pose for another 3 rounds of breath. Breathing deeply in and out through the nose, taking the variation of child's pose that really does service our knees, protect us. Inhale and exhale, come through your tabletop out of your Makrasana or your Balasana child's pose. Find your downward facing dog. Gaze between the hands, bend the knees, step the feet between the hands, forward fold, let it go. Finish your exhale. Inhale, scoop the hands up, sit into your chair pose, Utkatasana, and lift up the fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, sit a little bit deeper into your chair. Inhale, lift up the chest. Engage upper muscles of the legs. And then exhale, hands through heart center, Tadasana. Stand in your Tadasana for a few breaths. Maybe bring the left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly. Think about your sequence here. Reconnect to those controlled inhales and exhales. Leveling out the heartbeat, heart rate. Inhale and exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, hands to heart center as you exhale. Inhale, reach the hands over. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And from here, let's find our chair as we inhale, sit nice and deep, Utkatasana. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Interlace the fingers and bring them to the outside or the top of the left thigh. Shift the weight into the left leg, and can you bring the right foot off of the ground? Then from here, we're going to go in the reverse of our little lunges we were doing earlier. Bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, reach that right leg back, lift up the chest. Find warrior 3 through here. Inhale, exhale. Plant that right foot down and find your high crescent lunge. And let's try and move through it again. As we inhale and exhale, reach the fingertips forward. Smile. It doesn't have to be so serious. You can really have some fun here. Play with it. See how deep you can go. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Hop that right foot back or slide it through. Find your half forward fold, one-legged, preparing for three-legged, or actually warrior 3. Exhale, drop those right toes down. Inhale, find your high crescent lunge. Exhale, let's open up, find warrior 2. Inhale, straight into it, and exhale, extended side angle supported. Inhale and exhale, unsupported. Inhale, lift up, kick. Lengthen that left leg, Trikonasana reverse. Inhale and exhale, windmill the arms. Find your low lunge. Find your 3-legged dog, left leg rises. Exhale, squeeze left knee to nose. We're moving through the sequence, but just in reverse. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, downward facing dog. Few rounds of breath in downward dog. Otherwise, take your child's pose. Notice how strong the breathing has become. Notice how much energy is being used, but also how much energy is being replenished through these movements. Inhale and exhale. Let's all meet in downward facing dog. Roll yourself into your plank. Knees come down. Squeeze elbows in. Flat back. Core engaged. Chest down to the ground. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale down. Inhale, half Shalabhasana. Exhale down. Inhale, legs up, lift up the chest. Full locust. Inhale and exhale, plant the palms on the side of the ribs. Find yourself through your plank into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale, look between the hands. Step, jump, or float. Find yourself in your Utkatasana, top of the mat. Stay in your Utkatasana. I'm shifting to the back of the mat so we can move through the sequence together. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands through heart center. Interlace the hands at the chest. Place the palms onto the right thigh. Shift the weight into the right foot. Bend the left knee. And find your little half warrior 3 here. This position is for us to start to be stable. Be stable in the core. Be stable in the back. And then slowly kick that left leg out. Flex the toes towards the ground. Bring the hands to heart center and then find your warrior 3. Inhale and exhale, drop the toes. Find your high lunge over the right leg in the front. Inhale here. Exhale, reach and lean forward. Hop that back foot closer towards the right foot. And maybe again you come in through the reverse and find your warrior 3 this way. Very strong into the standing leg, upper muscles, glute, quadricep, hamstring. Strong into the foot, with grace, with control. Drop the left toes down. Inhale, scoop the arms up. High press and lunge. Inhale and exhale, find your warrior 2. Inhale and exhale, immediately find supported extended side angle. Right forearm on top of the right thigh. Inhale and exhale, find your unsupported extended side angle. 2 more breaths. You can do it. Reach through the fingertips, lighten the torso. And then inhale, open up. Reverse Trikonasana. Windmill the hands down. Find a little flow from your supported high lunge. All the way, kick back, 3-legged dog, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose, your little half plank, squeeze. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, squeeze. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, twist. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Immediately roll into your plank. Find your vinyasa. Bring the knees down. Bring the chest down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale. Inhale, half Shalabhasana. Exhale. Inhale, full Shalabhasana. Stay for the inhale and the exhale. You can do it. Inhale and exhale. Come through your half plank. Curl the toes under. Lift up the hips towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Last time, inhale and exhale. Step your feet to the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine. Finish your exhale in forward fold. Shift the weight a little bit forward into the toes. And then back into the heels. And then find your middle ground. Inhale for the last time, Utkatasana, chair pose. Lift up the chest, tap the pelvis, sit a little bit deeper. Inhale, gaze towards the fingertips. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, let's sit. And this time, come through a controlled toe stand to come and bring our sits bones flat onto the ground. Immediately, the feet lift up. And we find our Navasana boat pose. Knees can be bent. Let's engage our core. Try to lengthen and straighten the back. Be aware of the core here. Inhale here. Exhale, hold. Inhale, come down for low boat. Exhale, squeeze, come up. 5 rounds. You can do this. Engage core, knees bent. Inhale, down, half boat. Exhale, high boat. 3 more. Inhales bring you down. Core engaged, heels off the ground. Boat. That's your exhale. Inhale. 2 more to go. Shoulders off the ground. Navasana. Last one. And we're up at the top on our exhale. Can you inhale, straighten the legs? Can you take the rounding out of the spine? Shake a little bit, that's okay. Inhale and exhale, lower down with control, and then release all the way into Shavasana. Woo. Inhale and exhale, side out of the mouth this time, letting go of your nasal breathing. Nice and strong. Return to nasal breathing. Inhale, squeeze that right knee in towards the chest. Relax the feet of both legs. Interlace the fingers on the outside of the knee. Squeeze the knee in towards the armpit. Relax the muscles of the legs. Breathe deeply into the belly. Press the lower back flat into the ground. And then on your next inhale and exhale, bring the left hand on the outside of the right knee and twist, bringing that right knee over the left leg. Find your little supine twist, bringing that right hand out to the side, gazing over the right shoulder. Now surrender to gravity, letting the twist deepen. Bringing that focus again around the diaphragm, the navel, and also the middle towards the lower back. Feel this twist and the stretch, maybe a little bit over the right arm or the right chest muscle or the pecs. Palm of the hand can be facing up or down. Notice what this rotation of the arm does for the stretch over the shoulder, the rotator cuff, and the bicep. Inhale brings you through center. Inhale and exhale, interlace the hands behind the right thigh and straighten the right leg. Flex the toes of the legs towards the face one last time. And if you can, do your second last little sit-up, lifting up the chest and sliding the interlaced fingers maybe behind the calf muscle. As you exhale, keep that leg straight or a micro bend in the leg, in the knee. And straighten the back of your right leg, a little hamstring stretch. And you decide how deep you want to go. Do your hands go to your ankles? Do they come towards the sole of the foot? Keep the flexed foot to engage the quadriceps so that you're lengthening the back of the hamstring, the back of the thigh, which is the hamstring. And you can use the strength of the arms to bend the elbows and increase the stretch. Tap the chin towards the chest so the entire length of the spine is flat on the ground. If you feel like your left leg is lifting, flex the left toes towards the left knee. Engage those leg muscles too. Inhale and exhale, release. let that right leg go. Inhale and exhale, squeeze the left knee in towards the chest, but relax the feet of both legs, relax the muscles of both legs. Breathing into the belly, using the strength of the arms to squeeze that left knee in towards the left armpit. Let the toes relax, let the feet do what they will. Feel the entire sacrum pressed onto the mat. Breathe deeply into the belly, pressing the abdomen onto the left thigh. Inhale and exhale, right hand on the outside of the left knee, twist and gaze over the left shoulder. Left knee comes across the right side of the body. Find your twist here, a few cracks in the spine. Your left knee can be on a bolster or leaning down towards the ground, whatever is more comfortable for you. Bring that awareness for the last time into the abdomen, around the navel, and around the diaphragm. Gaze over the left shoulder. Twist through the entire spine. Maybe the eyes are closed. Maybe if they're open, they're soft gazing. Eyelids relaxed. Belly breaths, nice and soft as you let it go and surrender to gravity now. Grip of the right hand on the outside of the left knee is relaxed. Relax the right leg. Inhale and exhale, come through centered. Interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. Straighten that leg. Flex the toes of both feet if you know this gives you more control and a better stretch. Last, sit up, lift up the head, inhale. Grip to the point on the leg that feels comfortable for you to invite an entire stretch in the back line of the leg. Not only necessarily into the hamstring. If you've got very tight calf muscles, this will also give you a stretch into those muscles. But again, being mindful of the knee. And if you've had complications with any kind of ligament or meniscus issues in the knee, keep that micro bend and invite the stretch into the hamstring, even with that bent knee. It doesn't have to be hyperextended for you to, one, receive the benefit of the pose, or two, feel into the stretch. Last little engagement, inhale and exhale with control, using the strength of the arms to increase the stretch if that's what you need. Tuck the chin towards the chest so the entire spine is nice and long on the mat. Breathe into the belly, last little stretch. Inhale and exhale. Let it go. Last little movement here as we bring the soles of the feet to touch. And let the knees flop out to the side for Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining butterfly. You can bring your hands onto your hips or onto the lower abdomen. Let the knees flop out to the side. Again, chin tucked so that the back of the neck is nice and long. Maybe you shimmy the shoulder blades away from the ears, down the mat, down towards the lower back. Inhale and exhale. Rest in your Baddha Konasana, as many rounds of breath as you need. Take any last movements that you need as well. Notice how the heart rate is under control. Notice how the breath is easy. You can sigh in and out through the mouth a few times, or in through the nose, out through the mouth a few times. And then take your Shavasana when you are ready. I'm going to end the video here. But you can stay in your reclined butterfly. You can take your Shavasana. You can place bolsters under your knees, under your sacrum. You can take a bridge pose if you feel like you need a little bit of back bending before the Shavasana. So I'll talk us through a bridge pose, bringing the heels close towards the sits bones, pressing the palms into the ground and just lifting up the pelvis towards the sky, pressing the heels in towards the ground. Exhale, brings it down, and let's do 3 repetitions together. Otherwise, if you're done, you're taking Shavasana or staying in your reclined butterfly. Lift up the pelvis towards the sky. Think about squeezing something between your thighs without having the knees touch. You're still strong here, even though you're relaxing. Last one. Relax the pelvis down. Maybe walk the heels closer towards the sits bones. Can you graze the back of your heels with your fingertips? Active arches of the feet. Make sure the toes aren't out and the heels aren't out, but that the feet are parallel. Inhale, press the soles of the feet into the ground. As you lift up the pelvis, press the hands into the ground. Maybe you find a little bind here if this is part of your practice, bringing the hands together and squeezing the shoulder blades together as we lift up the pelvis and back belly. Chin towards the chest, or chest towards the chin, not the other way around. Inhale and exhale, release. And definitely find Shavasana. Thank you so much for sweating, for practicing with me, for staying with the breath, for honoring your body, for building strength, for coming back from an injury. If that's what's happened, that's why you're practicing with me today. Reconnect with that intention from the beginning of practice. Stay in your Shavasana. You can do this by just listening to the sound of my voice. Reconnect to that intention of building strength, not only in the physical body, but in the subtle energetic body, then sending all of that energy out into the world around you. Thank you so much for practicing.